Before we get into your guys' spreads today, let me give you some background information on this Scorpio full moon. So this full moon in Scorpio is well placed in relation to Pluto, the planet of transformation and rebirth. This full moon is also well placed in relation to Zubena Shamali, which is the star of good karma, good fortune, high ambition, beneficence, honor, riches, and permanent happiness. This combination means different things for different people. This full moon incites and stirs up feelings concerning what you want versus what you need. Inner tension and external pressures can lead to personal conflict and crises that drain your energy. If your life is a constant struggle, use this positive energy of the full moon to improve your life by eliminating something negative. In general, a full moon's effects last for 2 weeks, up to the next new moon, which will transpire on May 25th, 2017. The following chart displays other planetary aspects being made. However, this full moon makes just one planetary aspect. The moon sextile Pluto makes this a heavy and serious full moon, but also a positive one. Intense personal interactions will reveal exactly how you feel about someone and how they feel about you. Greater power and influence over your own life allows for a positive transformation. Relationships will evolve to a deeper level, or you will be free to move on. Anything that is in a state of decay in your life can be reborn now. You can clean away clutter in your mind and your environment. You can also get to the root of any bad habits or addictions to eliminate the destructive behavior. More control over your own emotions together with a powerful intuition will guide you on your journey into the underworld. Sort of like a psychologist, you can deeply probe under the surface to solve mysteries or investigate crimes and secrets. One of the best things about this May 2017 full moon in Scorpio's astrology is how it complements the previous moon phase. The April 27, 2017 new moon shone a light on our dark side. The positive transformation and liberation from guilt, fear, and shame, as it was described, now moves into top gear for the next 2 weeks. Okay, guys, with that background information being said, let's go ahead and move on to your spreads. What's up, Aries? Here's your reading for the full moon in Scorpio. We're doing things a little differently this time. Let's go ahead and bless the cards and get started. Guardian angels of love and light, ancestors lost and known in the seas of time, please intercede into this reading to provide Aries with the clarity and direction as to which he or she seeks. And please grant me, the reader, the objectivity to read the cards and relay the messages as they are meant to be. Okay, Aries, here is your first shuffle for summation. Here's your second shuffle for sublimation. Here's your third shuffle for sterilization. Sorry, these cards are a little large. And your fourth and final shuffle for solicitation. Summation, sublimation, sterilization, and solicitation. Okay, so for summation, you got the Page of Swords in reverse. For sublimation, the Nine of Swords. For sterilization, the Six of Discs. And for solicitation, the Nine of Wands here. Okay. So for how you may be perceived during this full moon, we have the Page of Swords here in reverse. Aries. Anytime that there's a page, it's someone who has a youthful spirit. Also someone who carries messages or who brings messages. And swords has to do with intellect and knowledge. So with the Page of Swords here in reverse, you may be perceived, Aries, as someone who is not really focused on gaining maybe viable knowledge. Now I know that came out a little rough, but I mean it in terms of choosing to not delve into those areas as to which knowledge will actually serve you in a positive sense. Kind of just being maybe a little too carefree. Also, close-minded, and also fighting yourself and being your own enemy in a sense, and being consumed with negative thoughts, Aries. We must never do this, Aries. We cannot be perceived as so. Because what comes along with all of that is just, at the end of the day, it's fighting yourself, Aries. It's fighting off utilizing that proper knowledge, or that knowledge that's going to serve you and transform you. We can't ignore that and not choosing to accept that in terms of the knowledge that's coming to you, that is being given to you, and choosing to not take it in wholeheartedly and to use it, to its maximum viability. You're only going to fight yourself, Aries, because then you're not going to learn certain things that you need to learn that are going to transform you. You're not going to allow yourself to take that next step to maturity and take that next step to growing as a person and gaining viability. Because with along comes knowledge, along comes an adjustment in terms of our scruples and in terms of our ethics and our morals. Don't disservice yourself like that, Aries. Try not to be so impulsive, and take a step back and maybe just listen and hear it out. It could be a good thing for you, Aries. But, let's have it be absorbed instead of dismissed. That's up to you, Aries. So the shadow sides that you may have possibly ignored are the Nine of Swords here. The Nine of Swords are your ships coming in. That's what it signifies or exemplifies. It's your dreams coming true. Enlightenment and exaltation and long-awaited arrivals coming for you, and your prize coming in redemption and experience, and having that guidance, or having that guide, I should say, through the darkness, having that safe passage, an end to long separations. But Aries, you'll never achieve or be able to completely appreciate those things that are coming for you, those good things, if you don't take the knowledge and if you don't absorb it and use it to its full benefit or to its maximum benefit, because it's only going to benefit you. Because when these things come in for you, They'll be taken for granted in a sense, Aries, because we haven't gained that knowledge of appreciation for those things that are being given to us. We're not realizing that those are extreme gifts of discernibility, of enlightenment. Or you may just as well as not even realize that they're coming. And they'll completely be ignored, and they're right there for the taking. And the door's open for you. You just have to walk through it. But you never will walk through it if you don't take the time to acknowledge the enlightenment. Or you don't take the time to acknowledge everything that's coming to you or towards you, to actually take it in. Because when you take in the knowledge, then you accept the knowledge. But you must be ready to take it in and to not ignore it. For how you can shed these old problems, these old patterns, I keep saying that in these videos. How you can shed these old patterns. We have the Six of Discs here. This is perfect manifestation and also perfect balance and merging opposites. And taking your dreams and visions into account, and to not ever doubt your resilience. You must merge the opposites, Aries, because that's what leads to perfect balance. Because these things that are going to balance you are only for your own good, Aries. But if you don't have that knowledge, you don't acquire it, you don't put yourself in a position to accept it. And even though they're right there for you, and they're there at the shore, how are you going to use it to its full benefit? How are you going to use it to balance yourself and to balance life's oppositions? Because it's only going to assist you in maintaining your life and having you, or giving you the ability to look past the bull crap and to know when to take the high road and when to know when to say enough is enough. And also to maybe along the lines of knowing what you deserve and what you should be getting. All of this has to do with knowledge, especially these two first cards right here. This is gaining the knowledge, having it given to you. And this is actually, the Six of Discs is actually implementing it and using it and applying it. But you first have to be open to accepting it, Aries. So the advice that Spirit has for you, we have the Nine of Wands here. The Nine of Wands is fire energy, which is who and what you are. Creative energy. Also, free will to direct that energy. To harness your power of strength. To harness your power in terms of your shortcomings and being bold and brilliant. Aries, I really want to focus on having the free will to direct the energy. Are you going to allow yourself to actually have the free will to direct it? Because having that free will comes with having the knowledge of knowing how to delegate it and winning and knowing when to push it and when to pull it back. I feel like a lot of this, Aries, is about balance, and the only way that that balance is going to come is through obtaining that knowledge. But you have to be open to it, Aries. It's going to be slow, and it's going to be a journey. And we like movement. Move, 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 move. That's what wands are all about. It's movement. But sometimes, like you have air, earth, and then fire. The only way that that fire is going to suffice, or the only way that that fire is going to stay alive, is through air and earth, oxygen, and matter to burn. But in order for you to actually harness that creative energy and to give yourself that free will, you must have these two things, or these three things, I should say. You need to have the earth, and you need to have that air as well. You must take this in order to make sure that this manifests. And having, that resilience, and knowing how resilient you are, and not doubting yourself pertaining to having that resilience. But you have to take it in, Aries. There's no way around it. Not yet, but, it's not like we have a little USB slot behind our ear and we can just pop, the thumb drive in there and download all the information and just have it and know it. It's a journey. It's learning it. It's taking it in. But it's also remembering it and implementing it so that it sticks around. In order for your fire to continue, you need the air and you need the earth. So what's it going to be, Aries? Are you going to accept it, or are you going to, say no to it? Okay, Aries, I believe that concludes your reading for the full moon in Scorpio. Let's work on it, okay? Hope you enjoyed your spread. Hey, what's up, Leo the Lion? Here's your reading for the Scorpio full moon. We're going to do things a little bit differently this time. Let's go and bless the cards to get started. Guardian angels of love and light, ancestors lost and known in the seas of time, please intercede into this reading to provide Leo with the clarity and direction as to which he or she seeks, and please grant me, the reader, the objectivity to read the cards and relay the messages as they are meant to be. Okay, Leo, here's your first shuffle for a summation. Here's your second shuffle for sublimation. Here's your third shuffle for sterilization. And your fourth and final shuffle for solicitation. Summation, sublimation, sterilization, and solicitation. Okay, so for summation, 6 of Cups in reverse. For sublimation, the 8 of Swords in reverse. For sterilization, the 8 of Wands. And for solicitation, the Death in reverse. Okay. This a little bit closer. Okay, so for how you may be perceived during this full moon, Leo, we have the 6 of Cups in reverse here. 6 of Cups in reverse signifies drowning and suffocating, and also heaviness, and being locked up or away during those times. Now we must ask ourselves, Leo, what are we being suffocated from or by? And why are we even in that headspace to begin with, or in that position? It could be maybe a lack of inspiration or creativity. Maybe not being open-hearted, you know? Maybe you're not staying true to yourself, Leo. That could be something too, or one of the reasons as to why. Maybe also possibly not feeling like you are able to rise to the occasion, and not being renewed or feeling clear. Or not realizing, Leo, how unique and beautiful you really are, and how your sign symbolizes strength. I feel like there's a lot of emotion involved, Leo. People may perceive you as being more emotional than normal. Maybe specifically if, you have a Scorpio moon. It could affect you as well in terms of that. But you mustn't feel suffocated. And you have to find the reason as to why you feel like this is such a heaviness and such a burden upon your life right now, Leo. I have a feeling, and I'm picking up on not being true to yourself, Leo. Feeling like you can't rise to that occasion, and having that moment, or those moments of feeling like the strength in reverse. But you need to remember, Leo, that strength is in you. It resides inside of you. And the opposite of strength, which is fiery energy, is water. So you're not feeling like yourself. You can't drown in certain situations. You're going to have to rise up. You're going to have to harness that strength that you have within you and rise to the occasion. Even if it's rising to the occasion, maybe not with your full potential, but at least you tried and you rose to it. Because there's a difference between trying and attempting and then just not doing anything at all. You're just completely disowning it and just, being in those moments of poor me and giving up. Because we can't give up. It's not what you're about, Leo. You're about that pride and that strength and moving forward. You must embody that. People may perceive you as being very emotional during this time and feeling suffocated and having that heaviness upon you, which delves more into your emotions, which may possibly be somewhat of a good thing in the end, because you'll learn that other side of you, or you'll learn those aspects about yourself that you maybe didn't see or think that you had in you. And you may develop strength, emotional strength, which then when that period ends, you can apply that even more to your, physical strength, being able to uphold it that much, better, and be that much more resilient in terms of upholding it and applying it to your life. For what shadow sides you may have possibly ignored, you have the Eight of Swords in reverse here for you. The Eight of Swords can speak of, in reverse, is having difficulties to begin, difficulties of rising above, also weakness, Leo, and chaos, and instability to establish the will. Let me rephrase that. Inability to establish the will. Is this maybe why you're feeling suffocated, Leo? Or you're feeling like things are heavy right now because you feel like you don't have the strength to actually impose your will? I want to say Cancer got this as well. You have to find that strength, Leo. You can't give up. You need to tame that lion and you need to get control of it. And you need to begin, even if you're going to begin in an unfavorable, manner or with an unfavorable disposition. But when you do begin, at least you attempted it once again, Leo. I'm starting to pick up on this failure in beginning, in trying to start again. I'm picking up on that a lot in this reading. You have to start, Leo. You really do. Whether it's starting wholeheartedly or starting halfway. Because you may end up ending wholeheartedly, and if you don't, then you can always retry again. It's not about how many times you fall, it's about how many times you get back up, and you need to get up, Leo. You need to harness that strength and that ambition that you have in you, and you really need to apply it. And you need to succumb to those attributes as to, which describe who you are and why you're the strength card, why you're a major arcana within a tarot deck, and why it's strength. Because in the tarot deck, strength is heroism and courage and bravery and greatness. Taking responsibility as well. Maybe possibly taking responsibility for your actions as well, Leo. Because letting things go and not attempting is not taking responsibility for your shortcomings. Maybe those are some of the things that you have possibly ignored. Now, how you can shed these old patterns. The Eight of Wands right here, which so happens to be fiery energy as well. The Eight of Wands is something unknown or forgotten that is awakened. Trust and persistence, if efforts seem ineffective. And keep things simple and primary. Also truth and awareness. And having those revelations and majesties. And having glory and splendor. It's interesting, Leo, how you picked up on the feeling of not being able to begin and just choosing to kind of stay on the floor about things, with things. And then the Eight of Wands here in this deck signifies something unknown or forgot that must be awakened in you. And also persistence, even if your efforts seem ineffective. Going back to what I was saying, Leo, about having to just try, just do. Be like Nike, just do it, right? Just do it. Get up and just try. Because you can at least give that, even though those efforts may not seem like they're effective, but they kickstarts everything that ensues from that effort of trying. And when people see that you're trying, people will support you, Leo. People are not going to support you, and people can't pick you up if you're laying on the ground. You have to see it for yourself, Leo, because no one's going to see it for you. And it's by trying, Leo, okay? I think that's how you can shed these old patterns of giving up, trying, getting up and doing it. Even if it seems like it's ineffective, you need to get up and do it and try. So for what advice Spirit has for you, the Death card in reverse right here. Excuse me. Avoiding a transformation, Leo, because these habits as to which you have succumbed to, and these patterns that you have succumbed to, prevent any kind of growth in your life, Leo. The Death card in reverse here is just general loss. failure, detachment, and disappointment, and unemployment as well, but we'll leave that out of it. I feel like disappointment's a big one too, Leo, for you, and failure. There are going to be moments of disappointment in your life. And it's okay to wallow in it, and it's okay to acknowledge it. But you can't stay down. You can't stay suffocated. You have to harness that which is built in you and awaken it once again. And don't forget that strength. And also, beginning and not allowing yourself to have difficulties in beginning. Because all of this, Leo, is just really disservicing you, and it's not allowing you to transform into that new person. Are you going to grow your mane? Or is it going to continue just to sprout? That's about it. You need to grow your mane, Leo. Grow it out. And it's the manner as to which aids in its growth is pushing through those difficult times and accepting disappointment and moving forward from it. Because then only you can manifest what comes after that. That's your responsibility. Okay, Leo, I believe that concludes your reading for this Scorpio full moon. You got this. I know you can do it. Believe in yourself and awaken that one thing that's built in you. Hey, what's up, Saggy? Here's your reading for the Scorpio full moon. We're going to go ahead and do things a little differently this time. Let's go ahead and bless the cards and get started. Guardian angels of love and light, ancestors lost and known in the seas of time, please intercede into this reading to provide Sagittarius with the clarity and direction as to which he or she seeks, and please grant me, the reader, the objectivity to read the cards and relay the messages as they are meant to be. Okay, here's your first shuffle for summation. Here's your second shuffle for sublimation. Here's your third shuffle for sterilization. And your fourth and final shuffle for solicitation. Summation, sublimation, sterilization, and solicitation. Okay, so for summation, you have the Knight of Swords in reverse. For sublimation, the Two of Wands in reverse. Sterilization, we have the Page of Swords. And for solicitation, we have the Emperor. Okay. So for how you may be perceived during this full moon, Sagittarius, we have the Knight of Swords in reverse. The Knight of Swords is someone who can be described as Someone that is on the move to conquer knowledge, to conquer, or to gain, I should say, probably, intellect. Also, the Nine of Swords can also be someone who is just search for all knowledge and exaltation and truth in general. But when he's in reverse, he often displays characteristics of delay or difficulty searching for truth and knowledge. So Sagittarius, maybe during this full moon you may be perceived as someone who maybe needs to find truth and who's seeking higher knowledge, which is what Sagittarius, you're all about, is expansion. Jupiter, you know? Also, maybe because of this, by having these delays or difficulty searching for the truth and knowledge, people may perceive you as being off your rocker maybe a little bit because of it. But it's not that you're off your rocker. It's just that you're on the move. You're riding that owl like he is in this picture right here. Because you need to find it, Sagittarius. Because you know that once you do find it, it's only going to be good. Which also coincides with maybe somewhat of the Emperor. I'm sorry, I may have said the Hierophant at the beginning of the reading. I'm sorry, a little off today. I don't know what's going on with me, but I apologize. But let's get back to the reading. So, yeah, you may be perceived as being someone who needs to search for those things, Sagittarius, and only you understand why. And you can go ahead and dismiss others' opinions when it comes to that. Because there's nothing wrong with seeking that knowledge and seeking the truth. But you may run into some delays and difficulty searching for it. But I feel, Sagittarius, you'll find it. And when you do, you know you will. And don't let anyone tell you different. But then you must ask yourself, Sagittarius, why are we in need for such development? I'm not saying that we should ever cease looking or searching for knowledge and truth. Of course not. But since the Knight of Swords is in reverse, it suggests a dire need for it. Like there's circumstances that are, inciting the search for it. Like there's more than just the yearn for it. It's having to do it because you need to do it, because you're forced to do it in a sense. So people may be, or people may perceive you as being that, having that energy. And you may be exuding or exerting maybe some irritability because of it. But I'm pretty confident, Sag, that once you find it, everything will be good. And you'll go right back to being the expanding individual that you are. Now for what shadow sides you may have possibly ignored, the Two of Wands in reverse. The Two of Wands in reverse is loss, lack, also having a deficit and a deprivation or deprivations, and no room or leaving no room for desires. I feel like this search that you're on, Sag, for this knowledge and truth and seeking it ever so fervently, it's going to serve you, Sag, but I feel like it's becoming something that is consuming you maybe a little bit too much. Which the ambition's there and it should be there and it's great. But let's not forget the things that are important. And the other doorways. This is right here in the middle of the Two of Wands. that are open for us. Because God knows, who knows if those doorways that we ignore, that we do not enter, actually contain that knowledge and that truth in which we seek. But if we're so wrapped up in trying to do it our way and trying to do it a specific way, we lose out on those opportunities. So be careful, Sag, with becoming maybe somewhat narrow-minded during this time. And also be careful with passing up opportunities of expansion that may actually serve you. So go ahead and be mindful of that. For how you can shed these old patterns, we have the Page of Swords here for you. The Page of Swords is someone who initiates intellect. The swords here. They initiate the intellect. And they have optimism in finding it and starting it. And they remain optimistic along their journey of obtaining it. They also tend to bring messages as well. So messages of obtaining it and also messages of the journey that it took to get there, to achieve such knowledge and intellect. Also, prosperity and having an auspicious outlook and having potent power and imagination and inventing new things and new intellects and inventing new ways of approaching it and obtaining it, and also having an open mind. So I feel, Sag, that we can shed some of these old patterns that are going on by remaining optimistic. And by having that power and utilizing that power that's within. But I feel like having an open mind and inventing new ways of maintaining that open mind. And also knowing that everything's going to be okay. Having that auspicious outlook, like this is good, having those good thoughts. That the journey ahead is not really in vain, or it's not really going to be or transpire into a painful journey. That it's going to be a journey of self-enlightenment and of self-acknowledgement and of prosperity that you can only grow from. And through this journey, you'll achieve and gain intellect and knowledge and experience that cannot be bought. It can only be earned through your blood, sweat, and tears. But I feel like you have to remain optimistic, though. You have to remain with that auspicious outlook, Sag. That's going to be vital, because that's how you're going to prevent passing up those opportunities that are there waiting for you to, to seize. But you may fail to seize those opportunities if you're so wrapped up in doing it a certain way. And having those delays or causing those self-inflicted delays. You can't do that to yourself. Because this is sort of a contradiction right here, these two cards. But I feel like this is the outcome when these two cards are not upright together. Or, if you want to look at it, it's in reverse together as well, because that also, portends a certain result. But when the page is upright and the knight is in reverse, you would tend to maybe want it the other way around, even though it's still not ideal to be like that. But a knight is, like I said, someone who is on the quest for it. On the quest for the knowledge. But when you aren't on the quest for it, how can you initiate it And how can you start it if you are not on the quest for it, if you don't have the yearn to actually obtain it? And you may pass up on those opportunities that could possibly be ignored. So for solicitation, in terms of what advice does Spirit have for you? To be that fiery person, to be the Emperor, to be the father of protected stability. You have to protect that stability, Sag, and it's only going to come from gaining that proper knowledge and that intellect. I'm glad that this came out last, or in terms of what advice they have for you. It's to maintain that ambition and to have that knowledge and to know that you're going to protect that which is yours. It's a great card, even the imagery of it. Because the Emperor is symbolic of the father of energy, of building, constructing, structuring, someone who is slow and wise, and also expansion. Stability also limits, order, and having guidance and providing guidance. So you need to maintain that proper guidance. And it may be slow, Sagittarius, but it's positive, slow growth. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because when you slow down, you give the good a chance to catch you. And when you slow down, you can actually then see those opportunities that are waiting for you. Instead of moving, see, this all happened for a reason for you, Sag, because instead of moving so fervently and instead of moving so fast ahead like a knight does, they're asking you to slow down so that then you can initiate all of the knowledge and then succeed. Because like I said, once you slow down, you can see the opportunities that are being presented to you that you don't not want to ignore. Okay, Sag? Hone in on those skills. It's going to be slow but steady. And take it all as a learning opportunity and a learning quest, or a quest for self-intellect and self-knowledge and also self-determination, but in moderation. Okay, Sag, I think that completes your reading. It was really good. I liked it. All right, that completes your reading for the full moon in Scorpio. Hope you enjoyed it.